Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be answering some possible questions you have about sticky mat, grip mat, the stamp wheel, all that. I have a few different products that I want to showcase and tell you about. So I know when you're shopping that's a little bit difficult to do because it's hard to see dimension and how big things are and what they really feel like. And so I am hoping to shed a little bit of light on some of those products today. So before we get into the video, I do want to say that, like any of my review videos, you have to take a close look at what your needs are for your particular craft. You don't need the latest and greatest out there. In fact, I do talk about some alternatives in this video for some of the sticky mat options. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
All right, there's a lot that I want to talk to you about here with regard to sticky mats, grip mats, having a closer look at them because it's sometimes hard to see when you're shopping. And I just want to kind of talk about ideas of what's on the market. I don't have all the company stuff, but here are some of the ideas on the market. The first one that I want to talk about is the sticky mats. So sticky mats are, this one from scrapbook.com is made to either go in the mini Misty right here, and there's a larger one that can go in the regular Misty. But the idea here is to be able to put this into your Stampin' platform and be able to put your card panel, let's say, in the center, and it'll hold it down for you while you're doing your projects. Now, some of the craft companies make it so that both sides are sticky so that you can place it in here and it doesn't move, and then you can do your stamping. Let's say you want to do a full background stamp on there, and you can do that, and then you won't have to hold it down with any kind of magnet or anything. So that's an idea, the sticky mat. And it's very thick plastic, very sturdy, and if it loses stick, couple things you can do. You can take a tacky tape, or excuse me, a tacky adhesive, liquid adhesive. Scrapbook.com adhesive is, they call it smart glue. It'll dry tacky, so you can touch it and it'll be sticky. Also the Tombow Mono. Those will be two options that you can use to re-tack your surface. You can also use something like Pixie Spray, right? But stuff that's made for that low tack.
Okay, voiceover Mary here. I wanted to go over, I did a quick search just on scrapbook.com, and there are so many sticky mats. Misty makes one, the Waffle Flower grip mat, the Brutus Monroe. There are a lot out there, so make sure you're aware of what it is you're looking for. Particularly, do a quick Google search on one that catches your interest and see if you can look at those, because I just don't have all of them.
Now here I wanted to pull in this option I found at Crafter's Square. This is an adhesive cutting mat. Now this is, Crafter's Square is a Dollar Tree here in the US, and so this cost me $1.25, and so I kind of want to see what this kind of tack would be like, right? So let me take a look. That's some really good tack right there. So it fits right into my regular size Misty, right? And I can probably just put this down here. Let's see. If I stamp it, yeah, it doesn't come off. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good stick right there. So that's nice. I can even place it in the center, right? And just this, as long as this part is sitting in the corner, I'm fine. So that's kind of cool. So I like that. So yeah, so you can pick up one of those, or you can even cut down an old mat that you have from your electric die cutting machine. So don't discount that as well. You don't necessarily need to spend a certain amount of money, but it's just the idea. Those are the sticky mats. Okay, let's move on to the grip mats. So these grip mats are particularly from scrapbook.com. It comes in multiple sizes. This one I have is an 18 by 24 in black. Okay, and I'm going to talk about this one because it's not wrapped. But this one, I have to say, I really love this mat. It's affordable. I think it runs for retail about $14.99 for the large. I really do. I've been using it. It's well loved so far. Couple things I want to talk about with this mat though that maybe you might not be aware of. So the idea of this mat is to hold down when you're doing some work and you want to hold down your card panel, but it's not going to stick to it, right? It's not going to stick to it. But if I toss it on there, it catches it, right? Versus if I did that, right? Okay, not that you're going to be doing that exact motion. I don't know who would be doing that while they're crafting. But just in case, I'm just showing you the stoppage, okay? So the reason I like that, and in fact, I didn't even realize this until I was actually sitting at my desk, I was trying to line something up on certificates, and I was on my glass mat, and it kept shifting by the littlest bit. But the grip mat does give that a little bit of rubber feel so that it doesn't slide around, but it's not a sticky mat. However.com. This I was using foil for that project, and it is sticky enough, it's rubbery enough that if you lay out your foil pieces on here, you know how those foil pieces stick to adhesive? Well, I noticed a tiny, tiny bit of gold coming up on it. Now, it comes off, but I just wanted to let you know because it's a PSA, right? Just in case. So you don't want to lay out your foil and stuff onto this mat. Just be careful. Another thing that you don't want to do, and I don't recommend it, is if you're die cutting and you're poking a bunch of little pieces out, I would not recommend doing that on the grip mat because you can't really like wipe them off quickly. So that's another learn through me and my mistakes kind of situation. I would poke out your stuff over your other mats that you can kind of wipe clean faster. But I do really love this. Now, I would recommend covering it when you're done, or like how I'm doing it is I kind of roll it up. If I'm not using it for its purpose, I roll it up like this and I just place it to the side of my mat, just like that, okay? So that's something you can do. But this is the next size down, and this one looks like 14 by 14, okay? So that's the next size, and keep these pieces of plastic here. I would recommend that because I use this white one and I just put the plastic right back over it, and then I roll it up. So it keeps it dust free because those mats are really attracted to the dust. So I just want to show you, this is the smaller one. Again, really affordable mat, and I am enjoying using it. If I had to make a recommendation, I would say, of course it depends on what you want for your craft room, but I would say go with the white. And the reason is because when I was ink smushing on the white, I could see it obviously so much better. And you can ink smush and you can do spatters. You can do a lot on this. You can heat on it. You can, like I said, ink smush. It holds your stuff down. When you're ink blending and you put it down onto, here, I'll show you there. It's rubbery, so it's not going to move around, right? Versus over here, it's going to slide around. So it definitely does give a better hold if you're doing with one hand. So that's cool. Don't cut on it, and be careful what you stick on it.
Me again. I also wanted to say that any kind of silicone or rubbery mat while you're stamping with acrylic blocks and photopolymer stamps is a great recommendation. It gives a little bit so that your stamping is more precise.
Okay, so that's the grip mat. I don't know of any other companies that make a grip mat. I just don't know. I'm not saying they don't. But I don't know. If you know, put them in the comment section. But these are from scrapbook.com, like I said. So that is the grip mat. Okay, let's go to the stamp wheel. Now this is a popular item. It is from Altenew, and I have not tried it out yet. This is kind of my first look to check it out. I've watched some videos on it, but I wanted to talk to you about what it's intended for in case you were curious. Okay, so this says, pro tip, use an enamel dot to mark one or more of the corners of your flip plate. This will make it easier for you to position the plate correctly after inking and serves as a guide for rotational stamping. Okay, so they're recommending. I've also seen other stampers put numbers on them so they know what order to go in, so that's something too. Now the intent behind the stamp wheel is to build like wreaths like this. That's why they have it on the front. So you can have perfect positioning when you are stamping in circles and when you're trying to make a wreath with your stamps. All right, so I think that's cool. I just want to kind of take a look at what we're dealing with here. Okay. I'm on my glass mat now, so what's nice so far is it does not move around. What is on the bottom of this? Oh, little suctions. Oh my god, that's so cool. Okay, so they're not suctions, but they're like rubbery, and they're big. So kudos to that, they're big. All right, so that's not going anywhere. I appreciate that. So the idea here is you have this wheel, and there are plastic pieces. Oh, it's on the back end. Okay, so there's this cloudy piece here, the protector. so now we have our wheel here. And the idea is these corners right here are going to catch as you turn your project, right? So you put your stamp on, and I'll show you. I'll do a little demo here. And then you just flip, and this way you know you're flipping. And how close do you want them? How do you, all that. So that's the idea behind the stamp wheel. All right, so, and that's really not going anywhere. Well done. All right, now we have this right here. This is going to be the piece that goes inside. And what people are loving about this is they're using just this aside from the stamp wheel.
Okay, I had to speed this up just a little bit. I think it was just first time user possibly, but I pulled off the one side here, and then you're supposed to lay the textured side down and the top side is supposed to be flat. I had a really hard time getting it lined up perfectly in there. It just seemed like it was a hair too big, and because it's so sticky, which is a good problem, it was harder to move around. So just wanted to let you know in case you run into that.
Okay, so I have this in here, and then you peel off the grid. So I have that grid piece off there. Now we have this stamp wheel stuck to the bottom, okay, in here. And what you'll do is there's no magnets or anything required. So we're just going to put a card panel in there and just stamp. Let's try out this is just some 80-pound cardstock. I'm going to see what the stick level is like. That's pretty good. Pretty darn good. Okay. So we have that in there. And let's say I'm just going to pull out what I have here. Maybe I want to do like a row of cookies. This is just the closest stamp I have to me. So I'm going to do smaller. I'm going to do the cup. All right, then I'm going to place this in there, pick it up, okay? And then we're going to go with walnut stain.
Okay, I start off with Distress Oxide ink, but it's not the greatest for images, so I had to stamp it twice, and that was taking too long. So in a couple cups here, I'm going to switch to some VersaFine Clair in the Fallen Leaf, which is a dark brown. But I wanted to just share about this. It is very simple to turn that wheel and to stamp down. You can put it exactly in the same position. It does operate as a stamp positioner. This is an alternative stamp positioner as well, not just a wreath builder in my opinion. So there is a double usage for that.
Okay, and it's stamped perfectly. I wanted to go over that last few. Well, one, to get them all the same color, but then to see how did it go back and redo it. So it's perfect alignment, obviously. So I love that. I think that's so cute. Okay, so that's what it's intended for, right? You can finish off your card, whatever. Now, a lot of people are using this as a sticky mat and also taking it onto their craft surface and using it as a holder for stencils. All right, so I'm gonna do, this is like splatter, coffee splatters and stuff. So I'm going to do just a little coffee splatter right off the top here. And I'm going to hold it down. All right, so let's see. I'm going to do this with no hands. We're going to be able to see. I'm going to do just this really light color here. All right, I'm not worried about it at all. It is sticking really well. So let's see it. Really well. Look at that. Awesome. So we can come back over here and maybe do a little splatters over here. Oh, I went off the edge. Don't do that. Don't do what I did. Mask that off. Okay, but we're just in a demo. Okay, so yeah, so there we go. So I love it. I think that works really well. All right, so this is cool. This is really sticky. You can clean it just like any other mat. The directions are more specific on how to clean it. So love the stamp wheel. I think it's really cool. I think it's a little bit pricey for folks if you're trying out. That's just my opinion. But, however, like with anything, you have to buy what works well for you and what's in your budget and what you want to spend. This retails for $99. the stamp wheel. It is a great tool. It absolutely is. This piece I hear is being sold separately at some point. I don't know how valid that rumor is.
It's totally valid, and it's on a couple sites already. So you'll see those links below.
So just take that for what it is. I love the tool. It stands by what it's meant to do. It's really cool. Love the grip mat. Also love the grip mats I showed you with the scrapbook.com, although they don't stick like this. This is really cool. No more tape when you're stenciling. So I'm loving that. Also, you don't need a magnet when you're stamping, and you can do full background stamps. So really cool little tool here. I'm impressed. So yeah, I'm going to just show you to clean. You can just clean it off as a baby wipe, and it cleans right up. So we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. Then I'm going to put its surface top back on. And then over here, same thing, you just can clean up your acrylic.
All right, I hope that was helpful to answer some questions you might have. Everything I showed in the video will be linked below, except for the Dollar Tree item. But let me know if you have any questions, and I will be sure to answer the best I can. I will see you all in the comments down below and in the next video. Bye-bye.